Hi, we'll see how well this setup does. Um, I figure since I'm gonna be standing here making vanilla pudding, I can multitask, or try to anyways. Today has not been a good day for multitasking. Um, yeah, it's been one of those days where I've had a hard time putting thoughts into words, and balance has been worse today, and just weakness in general. Um, but so just take one day at a moment at a time and go from there. Um, it's this rainy, cold, chilly weather is not helping any. So yeah, I've been trying to get into a somewhat of a routine of things, and that's not been working well. But one step at a time. As it gets closer to the 19th and 20th, I'm finding that my family of origin has been on my mind a lot more. And all the that went with it. Mostly because the 19th is when I was originally going to leave my parents' house. It also happens to be my older brother's birthday. But decided to stay one more day to try to see if we can find someplace to take the pets. Chill. Sorry, Bella. Being Bella. Hyper Bella. She hasn't been able to run as much as she's wanted to. She's trying to get the cat to play with her, and yeah, well, anyways. What was I saying? The 19th of the day was originally on leave, but I had to stay a day earlier, longer, to see if we could find some shelter for my pets to go into, and we did find one, but yeah, it was a very uneasy time because I wasn't sure what my older brother was trying to do, if anything. And of course, the morning of the 20th, nothing went as planned, where my older brother and mom was supposed to be at work. The time I arranged with the advocates for police escort, but Marlene and Kevin was there, so it made it a lot more complicated. And there was one point where I could have had Marlene arrested because she had blocked my door and wasn't letting me go through for a bit, but she finally did. And I just wanted to get out of there, so I didn't press charges or anything. But yeah, it was a very emotionally rough day. Because I was having them there when I was scheduled to leave made it 10 times more stressful and difficult, because I almost felt like I needed to rush to get out of there before something escalated into Um, just something escalated, and we managed to get out of there. And poor Oreo, his as he was leaving the driveway and such, his carrier slid, so he ended up being slid, so it's up and down, and the front of the key just carrier was on the bottom. He did not like that at all, which I don't blame him, but it was only a short trip, and the police officer kept saying he's okay and stuff, so I left him as much as I wanted to stop to upright him. And yeah, it was one of the hardest things I had to do is when we got to the shelter and had to leave him there, because I wasn't sure if I was going to see him again. Or anything else that was going to happen. And of course, when I was walking out the door, they were all trying to get my attention to come back to him and stuff. And that was one of the first times I ever really let myself cry in front of somebody else. And it was the first time I had ever said no when someone asked me if I was okay. Because usually I will say I'm okay or whatever. But yeah, I was hard leaving him and going to a place where I didn't know anything that was going to happen or whatnot. And of course it was a weekend and we got there later than planned, and so it was shortly before the advocates left for the night, and they wouldn't be back until Monday, so it was a couple days. And when they took me over to the shelves of food and stuff, they was trying to get me to pick out some food for the weekend and stuff, and I just could not think, and all I wanted to do was just hide somewhere for a while. And of course that wasn't happening, so, but yeah, anyways, managed to get out some basic food, and where my family hadn't had water, any running water for several weeks at that point, they wanted me to wash all my clothes before taking them to my room and such, which was a pain in the butt, because I was supposed to be still on crutches, and I had left the crutches at my family's home, and the room the wash machines and dryers were in the basement, and so in my room was on the second floor. Those two sets of stairs, I had to go up and down and to tend to laundry with crutches and my ankles swollen, and I majorly protesting, but it was what it was, and there was nothing I can do to change it. And of course the other ladies at the shelter was trying to be nice and stuff, and I just wanted to be left alone, but I didn't know how to put into words. But yeah, it's just, I kind of learned that day that anything you said to any of them got passed on to all of them and such, so that didn't help any with me being shut down and such, and it was all overwhelming to where I was pretty much in isolation for several years and stuff. In my family's home, just being in my room all the time, and partly because the last couple of years, I think it was, every time I left my room, one of them would follow me around and ask what I wanted, and and they wouldn't go back to whatever they were doing until I went back to my room. And so those times where they would get mad at me because I wasn't going back soon enough. Especially if it's like outside in the yard doing something. But anyways, so going from that to shelter was very tough. The other thing that made it difficult is that pretty much up until that point, whenever I was around other people, my family did all the talking for me and such, so and if I happened to be the one talking to somebody when they wasn't around, I would always get quizzed as soon as we got home, and bend in a corner and basically ask who did I talk to, and what exactly did I say, what did they say, and blah blah blah. But yeah, the shelter was rough, and I think it was either Monday or Tuesday after I got there, I got in a phone call saying that one of my dogs had passed away due to health issues. He started having a bunch of seizures that they couldn't get under control, which was really hard, and especially where I tried to get my advocate there to let me go see my cat and my other dog, and she wouldn't let me go and such, and which pushed me even more into shutdown mode for a while. But it's one of those where it's a share room and things like that. It's just it was just hard because but anyways, just not totally sure how we get going down that bunny trail, but I'm gonna close it here, and I'll talk to you guys another time. Bye.